Good to have you here.
Mike, congratulations.
Hey, bro. Thanks, Mark.
Obviously, Jaden Shute did not score a point in either of the last two games.
He didn't.
What was different today where he came through so much?
You know, Mark, good kids and competitive kids don't hang their head. Thought Jaden Young played a good ball game against Cal, started him today. Brought Jaden Shute off the bench, and I typically make that announcement, you know, on Monday or the day after the game. And I did on Monday. Jaden Shute practiced his tail off, continued to work at it. I thought Jaden Young gave us a nice lift, but boy, Jaden Shute was good, really good. Looked fluid off of screens. The three he made to cut it back to two, I think, was really good. We had a late clock. We had a 7-second shot clock. He shot that and missed it, but he was all over it. And then to step to the line and get those two foul shots down was huge, and I am proud of him, as I am of Ben Burnham and Toby Lawal and a number of them. I thought they played, you know, it wasn't pretty, and our team sometimes isn't very pretty, but grit, toughness, determination, hustle allowed us to, you know, pull it back, and maybe the Wolfpack got a little tight going down the stretch in the Castle. And to get out of here with that one is certainly a feather in our cap.
You're down 12 with 6 minutes to go. What did you like about your team's play down the stretch?
Mark, I think I saw him grow up a little bit. I think I've seen him grow up more and more here. You know, we're 17, 18 games in now. You know, we're not new to it. And to see them hanging there together, our huddles were really good, our timeouts were really good, and you know, they all did something to help our team. Jaden Young, as I've mentioned, Rodney Brown, Ben Burnham was darn good. Toughness, hustle. Tyler Johnson, same thing. So proud of our Hokies, certainly.
Mike, your guys' ability to string stops together down the stretch, the suits, how important? I mean, is that there? And some of those 50-50 balls, some of those loose balls that you guys got, how important is that fight just to go get it?
Hasn't always been a characteristic of this team, but they understand the importance, David, and you know, we beat them over the head with it. To see, you know, a couple of scrums down underneath NC State's bench for one in particular. They had the era too, so if that's a jump ball, they get the ball back. Very, very pleased. We've got to do a better job with some of our opponents' actions, and I take a great deal of responsibility there. Our team is doing everything we ask. We got to tighten some things up, and we will.
What did you like about how you guys defended that last NC State play?
Almost perfect. Almost perfect. You're talking about the 94 feet up one. Mark saw the game, David. Villanova at Uncasville in year 2, and Villanova walked a guy down underneath me, and Mutz, that was a disaster from the start. I asked Aluma to miss the foul shot. Villanova was out of timeouts, and lo and behold, he banks it in. I don't have another timeout. Mutz is over the ball, and we talked about that. We had that situation, I forget, somewhere else. And Toby, you want to play 5 on their 4, okay? So you really want somebody over the ball to crowd the ball, but you can't touch it. Toby kind of backed away from it, expecting a Villanova action. So now you're playing 4 on 4. If you're going to do that, move Toby into the front court and try to bat something down. But being over the ball caused the ball to be looped, and Ben Burnham, it's the only time I've seen him in my time with him where he looked quick. He looked athletic. Good God! And he batted that thing down, got in there, and rammed it home for another basket. Great play. I know exactly what Kevin was doing. It was good action, and that's not an easy situation. I don't want to be in that situation. And our kids handled it well.
Ryan. Hey, Coach. How
hey,
you
Ryan.
doing?
Good buddy. Good to see you, my friend.
You know, like you said, we're about 18-something games in. What would you say from the beginning of the season to kind of see this melding of minds and athleticism and talent to where you are now, what would you say is the identity of this team as of right now? Or is it still something that's happening?
It's something that's still happening. I really like them. I've had smarter teams. I've had better teams, but I really enjoy coaching them, and they're continuing to get better. And Ryan, it's what we're faced with for. I hope to do it another 10 years. What we're faced with, a number of new faces, and you're putting that all together. It is a process. Some choppy waters in November, December. We're certainly not a finished product. I'm not trying to insinuate that we are, and we're off to the races. We're not. But this team is getting better. This team is enjoying one another, enjoying playing with one another, and certainly a reflection of that was their play down the stretch.
Coach,
Brooke?
we saw the highlights. We watched the game. Can you explain why teams shouldn't count you guys out in your own words?
Say it again, Brooke. I'm sorry.
Can you explain in your own words why teams shouldn't count y'all out?
Don't count the Hokies out now, Brooke. I don't care what you're playing. Don't count the Hokies out. An incredible amount of heart from our bunch tonight. That is snatching victory from the jaws of defeat, as we did against Miami. I don't want to live like that very often, but we're coming on. We're coming on, and I'm really proud to see it and excited for what lies ahead.
Coach, if you don't mind talking a little bit about you spoke a little bit about this earlier, but I mean, Toby, just the athleticism and what he brings, and then you have Ben, who's kind of like this scrappy guy that's able to kind of clean up underneath the rim and finish under the rim with about like 3 guys on him. I mean, those 2 guys, what more do they add to this team other than some of the things that I just said?
You know exactly what you're going to get. They're going to play their faces off. I don't get into this stuff very much. Plus minus. This kid played, 21 minutes and was minus whatever. The plus kid is playing great basketball. Toby the Wall was a plus 25, which is incredibly impressive. The next closest person we had was a plus 8. That was Rodney Brown. Plus 25 is remarkable, and he played 30 minutes. He's getting he's able to play longer, harder, and that's a big deal. He's a talented man, needless to say. His hustle, his effort, his athleticism is something to behold, and certainly love coaching him.
Yeah, you guys out-rebounded NC State 10-3 in the last 7 minutes where you guys made that run. What was the biggest difference on the glass?
I really like Coach Keats. I really like his teams. We've competed and locked horns on a number of occasions. Certainly take nothing away from the Wolfpack. They've got a good outfit. We played a little bit harder down the stretch. Sometimes it's that simple. Like we had a little bit more on the line. The 50-50 balls that David mentioned, keeping possessions alive with an offensive rebound, gap raids when the ball's being driven here, and Ben Burnham and somebody else had one where we're going into that gap and pulling the thing out of there. I thought our team played a little bit harder than NC State. I take nothing away from NC State. Those kids are great kids, and they play really hard.
Go back to Jaden Shoot. What was he doing better offensively? Was he looking for a shot more, or were they?
He practiced really well. He's just moving better, Mark. He's picking his spots. And how NC State, what they employ defensively is hard. They switch a lot of stuff to keep a body on a body. You've got to be in perpetual motion. You've got to be moving. You've got to be looking for the next opportunity, the next pin down. And he did that. He had a great look about him. Played good ball in both halves. Hit his first 3 over there. Like you said, he did score for us in California, and looked at that. a fine-tooth comb and what can I do better to help him. He did a great job for us tonight. Did a great job. Proud of him.
You have an update on Hammond? Ben Hammond?
Unless we have a setback tomorrow, he'll be in uniform on Saturday, and I don't expect him to play 35 minutes, but I do expect him to start. I've never taken a person out of the starting lineup because of an injury. I don't do that. And he was playing very well when he went down, so he would be back in the starting lineup, and we'll have to be careful with him, and I will be in constant communication with Hisham as we get into the Wake Forest game to ensure that we're doing what's best for Ben.
Last question, Dave.
Mike, you guys had 10 first-half turnovers, only 2 in the second half. It seemed like at the end of that first half, they really the pressure got to you guys a little bit. What did you like about how everybody settled down in the second half?
I think I've been more comfortable with that young lady handling the ball for me in the first half than I was. I'm not kidding.
I don't know about that.
I'm being serious. Good grief above. You can't kick the ball in the backcourt. Come on, man. You can't have those kinds of turnovers. 8's a man now. It looks like a ACC middle linebacker. But you got to handle the ball with sureness. You got to get the offense into the front court and get it initiated and gone. Much better job from the team in the second half, and we played with the confidence and the pace that you got to play with, and certainly need to do that on Saturday against the Demon Deacons. Thanks, everybody.
I just have a question about Wake. Just what do you expect to see from them on Saturday?
Haven't seen them a lot yet.
Okay.
I have great respect for Steve. You know, we go way back. No Hunter Salas, no Cameron Heldreth, no Efton Reed. Tylor was at Louisville, of course, a year ago, the starting point guard. Familiar with the Spillers kid at the 4. He played for a former assistant of mine at App State. He's a good-looking kid and playing good ball for them. I'm sure they're not changing a whole lot. They are going to do what they do. We're going to see a number of ball screens. Our coverages are going to have to be better. This Wake Forest team beat NC State at Wake Forest 18. They're off to a good start in league play, so we're going to have to play a good ball game. Thanks, everybody.
I guess the big question.
I tell you what, she'd be all for it. I know her. She doesn't want me around the house very long.